Welcome to this episode of Locked In. In this episode, we're going to be doing my review of the Kaiventure Minimalist bar bag. If you're looking for the perfect everyday, every ride size bar bag that's not too big and not too small, please stay tuned. We're going to be discussing the specs of the bag, what materials it's made out of, the features that it does have, what it fits, how to put it on, price, and my final thoughts. So let's get into the specs and materials of the bag. This is made out of a 1000D Cordura. That is water resistant, but you can spec it with an X-Pack material as well. It does have a 400D diamond ripstop interior. Overall dimensions are 8 inches long by 4 inches tall, and this is a stock spec, even though you can customize this if you want it a little bit bigger or longer. And the capacity of the bag is rated at 1.6 liters. As far as features go, you have your single zip here. You do also have these finger loops. These are actually designed for you to easily open and close the bag while riding. You can actually just kind of hold your hand over it, put your finger inside the hole to easily pull the zipper either direction that you need to. One of my essential features for any of my handlebar bags is the loops on the front. This allows you to either mount cool pins that you find while riding, or like I like to do is mount my nog light on here so I can always have a daytime running light. And obviously you can strap any variety of items to the front of the bag as well. Then you're gonna have your two side pockets. One is mesh and the other is actually fabric. And on the back, you're gonna see the mounting loops that I like as well. This allows you to easily mount this bag either really close to your stem or wider, depending on one, the weight of what's inside, or depending on what you have in your handlebars. If you need to space these straps accordingly, you can very easily. As well as two mounting tabs for the head tube angle to rotate the bag in, depending on how you wanna mount it. You can run a standard Velcro strap through this or a bungee cord style system, depends on whatever fits best for your frame. Now to mount this, again, depending on what position you wanna mount the straps in, you're gonna easily just mount the Velcro on top first. Then you're gonna basically find which mounting loop you wanna use for the bottom and cinch that up. I like to use the bungee cord system since I think it's a little bit easier to use, as well as you can easily tighten it up and it gives you a little elasticity to keep the bag from bouncing too much. But depending on how far your bag is from your head tube, you could use a little piece of Velcro to wrap around your shift or brake cables as well. Now, as far as what fits inside of it, I'm gonna show you guys basically what I keep in here pretty much every ride. I really like this bag because it essentially can cover you on, in my opinion, anything from a 2 to 4 hour ride, no problem, depending on how hot it is, how cold it is, and how much food you tend to consume, and how much you wanna put in your pockets. Now, this is a very easy setup to do. And honestly, this has enough nutrition for me for at least 3 hours, probably 4, depending on the intensity, how much climbing, and the weather. But what I tend to keep in here is, like I said, plenty of food. I try to avoid bunking on every ride that I can. So I have in here a Cliff Bar, 2 other fruit bars that basically would act as a gel, and some peanut butter, my vest, and a set of gloves. This also features a key ring that you can easily attach your keys. I like that they do the lengthier cord so it's easier to actually use the keys while in the bag instead of just holding on to them. And to be honest, I could easily throw a pair of arm warmers or knee warmers in there. Leg warmers would probably be a pretty tight fit if you aren't using the gloves or the vest and you have a full stock of food. But if you have eaten some bars or have the gloves on, you probably could fit that in there as well. So there's still some room left even with everything in here. So I could fit more food, or I could easily fit something like a layer that I'm gonna be shedding possibly during the ride. So now on to pricing. Kaiventure has a myriad of color options and this bag starts at $50. Now everything they do is by hand. It is actually made locally in California, and you can customize this bag. That will obviously vary up on the price depending on if you want custom colorways or a custom size or any other features you want to add to it. You can simply email them. They're great and easy to work with. So any features you want to add to the bag or take away, you can simply email them and they will accommodate you accordingly. So let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think about this bag? Honestly, I use it on essentially every ride, unless I'm just going out for something around an hour to an hour and a half where I might only carry a bar at best, or I know exactly what the weather's like. This is really going to cover me as far as just having some easy space to utilize if we're going somewhere and I might want to pick up something that I can easily throw something in the bag, or if I am kind of slightly worried how the weather's going to change, I have plenty of space even if I leave it empty. One of the things I love about the bag is how malleable it is. Now it is nice and soft, so it's easy to get into because with these smaller bags, it is harder to manipulate it because it's physically smaller than my all-day bag from them, and you can check that review as well on my channel. But since they double reinforce the sides, it gives it still some structure, which I really, really appreciate. So the bag doesn't look like a saggy burrito if it's not fully filled up. And I really do appreciate that feature because there are other handlebar bags on the market that do a single ply on the side, or they don't structure it in the way to where to really support the bag when it's unweighted or has very minimal things in there. As far as an aesthetic feature, granted the function's probably still the same, but I just like how this looks even if it's not fully loaded. The zippers they use are easy to use, and that's one big thing for me is I want to be able to easily access stuff in the bag while riding, and I haven't had any issues with the zippers getting stuck or accessing any items inside while I'm on the bike. So I would definitely recommend this bag. I haven't had any real gripes with it. If one was, it was mainly, hey, I need more storage, but that's why I also have their all-day bag. So it's really just dependent on how much space you need. And this actually helps me really think about what I'm bringing with me. If I am doing a bigger adventure ride and I'm gonna be out on a century or be doing a 5-hour plus ride, I'll probably bring my all-day bag just to have extra stuff, especially if it's a new route or trail. I realistically have no issues with this, and I'm in love with the aesthetic. My big thing is if you're slow, you might as well look good, and if you're fast, you should look good as well. But I think to have a custom option, especially at this price point at 50 bucks, it's basically what you're gonna be paying for a production handlebar bag with a custom touch, and their stock colorways might match your bike perfectly or accent it the way you want it, or in my case, match a custom frame that I had made. So if you have any further questions, please make sure to comment below. The link to Kaiventure's website is in the description as well. So thanks for watching this episode. Please make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on so you can see every video that I put out on this channel. I make videos every single week, as well as follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I post on there a lot more regularly so you can see what's going on with me and cycling and what builds and things I'm doing on the day-to-day. And lastly, thanks for watching another episode of Locked In.
Let's get locked in today, like tutorial.